A year ago, when the LEGO Group had not yet announced their Pokémon sets, I built one of Dave Holder's Pokémon MOCs, Charmander, or Fire Lizard life-sized sculpture, how the MOC was officially called back then, for copyright or trademark reasons, I guess. I noticed that they have slightly renamed that MOC in the meantime. Now it's called Life-Sized Fire Lizard, which is a bit more catchy. Since my Charmander looks quite lonely, I decided to build another one of Dave Holder's MOCs, which can be found on brickabuilds.com, a brick build sculpture of the Pokémon Squirtle, or Senigame if you prefer its original Japanese name. The French call it Carapuce and the Germans call it Shiggy. The MOC itself is sold under the name Life-Sized Hydro Turtle. I guess it used to be called Hydro Turtle Life-Sized Sculpture. The MOC consists of 4,652 pieces and has got the dimensions of 54.2 centimeters by 56 centimeters by 48.2 centimeters. You can buy the MOC with Lego pieces for about 1,088 euros, or you can buy only the instructions for about 82 euros. Of course, I did only buy the instructions and sourced the bricks myself. I wasn't happy about Charmander's expensive instructions last year, and now I'm not less unhappy about the horrendous price tag of Squirtle's instructions. But well, once again, I was insane enough to spend the money. To save a lot of money, I'm not going to use Lego bricks. I'm going to use bricks by other manufacturers. I ordered my bricks in China. I paid about 114 euros for the bricks and about 37 euros for shipping. So, with the 82 euros for the instructions, this mug did cost me about 233 euros in total. Stupidly, I missed to look for a coupon for the instructions, so maybe I could have saved another 10 euros, but I don't really know. As you can see, we are going to use a lot of big bricks, but I have the impression that we have got a bigger variation of pieces than back when we built the Charmander MOC. Well, I have downloaded the instructions, and there you can see that this MOC comes with different building sections. But yeah, I can simply ignore these building sections because I didn't buy this MOC as a set. I only bought the instructions and I sourced the pieces myself. So the building sections don't really matter to me. My pieces are not pre-sorted to those individual building sections. So always when I'm going to see one of those numbered bags, I will simply ignore that page. Okay, then let's start with the first step. I'm coming back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as shown in the instructions. Step 47. The first body part that we are building is Squirtle's tail. Well, at least I think so, I'm not sure yet. And with this step here, we are starting to use snut techniques, studs not on top. This is something which we didn't use once when assembling Charmander. So this means this build here already is a bit more complex than the Charmander build. And we already also have used quite a huge variation of different pieces. Step 132. Now I'm absolutely sure that it is Squirtle's tail which we are building. Have a look here at this swirl. It's definitely the tail. Well, you can also see that it's quite huge and that it's hollow. And I don't think that it will take much longer until we close it. Step 146. We have completed the tail. It's really a huge thing. Well, what are we building next? Hmm. Well, I guess this is some kind of internal structure which connects the tail with the main body. Maybe this here is even part of the torso. I'm not sure. But I guess this is definitely something which, yeah, will end up being covered by other blue pieces because Squirtle doesn't have these colors, or at least not in that combination. I think this is something internal which we won't be able to see later in the build. Step 175. Okay, we have completed this internal structure, and now we start building the legs. Step 250. We have built the legs, and we have interlocked them with the rest of our build. Now we start with building the torso. Step 450. This is how Squirtle looks so far. So you can see we have built the lower tummy, and on the back side you can see that we have started building the shell. We also have used some snot techniques to get these upright brown stripes in here, which is important for this pattern here. And well, other than that, we only used huge breaks. Those details here are created with plates and tiles, but the main part of the build was done with proper huge breaks. And when you have a look inside the build, you can see that it's quite colorful. This is done so that, it's easier to assemble the whole build so that we can immediately see where to place the right pieces. Some people don't like it when the build is that colorful, when there are so many colors which aren't really, part of the build or which aren't visible once the build is complete, but I don't really mind. As long as we don't see, for example, these orange pieces here or these green pieces, I'm absolutely fine. It's all hidden inside the build and you can't see those pieces from the outside. Step 483. Two of the pieces which we have to place in the step are these two 2x4 bricks. But we can only see where to place one of them over here. I guess the other one is covered by this box. But this isn't really a problem since, at least in most parts, the build is quite symmetrical. So the piece over here should just be placed at the same position like here, only mirrored. You can see I have placed one piece over here and the other one is here. Step 522. It seems we have reached the torso's widest part, and from now on things are getting thinner again. You can see we already have started to place the next row on top of the torso, and this time the inner row of anti-studs is not interlocked. So the other pieces were just put on top of each other, or as you can see back here, the outer row of anti-studs is not interlocked. But from now on, we are making things thinner again, and we are overlapping the bricks on their inner side. Step 542. We have started assembling Squirtle's arms. Step 695. We have completed the arms. And I think they look very cute. And if I see it correctly, now we are going to close the upper part of the shell. Maybe the whole upper part of the torso, and then we are going to, yeah, I guess we're going to add the neck or immediately the head later. Step 717. So far, we have closed the torso like this. And yeah, I think now we start with building the head, if I see things right. This looks a bit like the lower jaw. Step 763. I think I have found a tiny but meaningless error in the instructions. So, this is our jaw so far. And we have to interlock this little segment here with the jaw. You can see it goes here in the front. But like this, it isn't so easy to do because have a look here. We have to interlock these two anti-stats or these two stats with these two anti-stats and these four stats here with, yeah, the four anti-stats on the underside. But you can't really do this at the same time. You see my problem? But of course, this doesn't matter because we can simply take it apart and do it like this. And yeah, this solves the problem immediately. Oh, this doesn't look fine. Yeah, it's not so easy to do with one hand. I have to hold the camera with the other hand. But now everything is fine. And with step 764, we have combined the lower jaw with the rest of our build. Step 830. We have built big parts of the mouth so far, and if I see things right, now we start with building the upper jaw. Step 862. We have completed the mouth. And as you can see, Squirtle also has got a nose now. I think in one of the next steps we are going to close the oral cavity. Step 908. In the meantime, we have closed the oral cavity, and when you have a look inside, let me just get the light over here. You can see that, yeah, the top of the mouth is black. And yeah, we didn't use the same color as for the rest of the mouth. You can see we got the pink tongue and the rest of the mouth is in red. But for some reason, the upper side is in black. Well, and now I think we are going to build the rest of the head. You can see that we also have already started with building the eyes. Step 999. We have completed the eyes. And I think the only thing left to do now is to close the head. But this might get a bit tricky, or at least we have to pay attention. Here in the front, we get this little platform here, but when we drop a piece, we can rescue it here, but not here in the back because there is a big gap. And well, when we have a look in there, you can see that it goes all the way down to the bottom, all the way down here. And yeah, I'm not sure if we can get out the pieces which fall in there. We can put Squirtle on, yeah, we can turn it around, but the thing is, I fear that the pieces might get stuck below the platform, for example. So better simply not to let any pieces fall down there. Step 1058. We have completed the build. And just wow, have a look at this huge thing. Squirtle looks so cool. Isn't it cute? I absolutely love this build. It just looks amazing. Maybe the head looks a bit too big, but to be honest, I think Squirtle simply has got such a huge head. It looks the same in the video games or in the anime. It's such a cool build. And this thing really is heavy. When you want to lift it, you need some muscle power. Wow. Well, then let's have a look at all the details. Where do we start? I don't know. Have a look at those cool, stumpy feet. They look so cute. The tail is just so huge. It's it's amazing. And I like that we really could recreate this swirl here with the help of building sideways. So yeah, we used some snut techniques for this build. Also the same here on its chest. We could create this pattern with plates which we placed sideways. Then we also got the huge shell, and there we could create this pattern just with normal bricks. We simply used black pieces to get those details. I love the arms. It just looks like as if Squirtle wants to hug you. And then we got the cool head. I really like Squirtle's face here. A huge mouth, and I love the nose, or better said, how we could create the nostrils. This is a clever building technique. So what we did is that we used uh, slopes and inverted slopes, and then we placed up here and down there plates, and that way we could create those gaps. And yeah, those gaps are our nostrils. Amazing. The huge anime eyes with eyebrows, which consist of plates once again. And yeah, I think that's it more or less. We can have a look from above. It's just a huge build. Absolutely amazing. Well, I had much fun with assembling this MOC. The building instructions were always very understandable. I didn't have any problems with them. There were one or two steps in which you had to think a bit, but in general, you you don't have to use your brain a lot for this build. It's just putting one brick on top of another one. Of course, there are some minor snot sections, but we are never doing anything really difficult. The result just looks amazing. I really like this MOC. I wish the instructions were a bit cheaper. They are way too expensive, but apart from that, there is not much to complain about. What we achieve with these instructions is just incredible. Squirtle looks like Squirtle. And it's a life-size Squirtle what we got here. Wow. Well then, I think it's time for Charmander to meet its new friend. Oh, look at them. Don't they look cute?